Welcome to another weekly market analysis. Today is December 6th, 2024. In this video, I'm just going to go through some of the highlights that I have captured in the text version of my market outlook or the market recap and analysis. I will refer you to go check out my newsletter, and I will have the link below for this text version of the write-up so you can get more detailed narrative of the market performance and what to expect. So in this video, we're just going to take a look at some of the highlight and take a look at the price action, go to a couple of scenarios where the market might be headed. And then I would like to show you a few swing trade idea on a few crypto mining stock and also on Google and Nvidia. Now let's take a look at this chart of the indexes. And as you can see, last week we have the Dow Jones Industrial on Wednesday made a new all-time high. But other than that, it did not do much throughout the remainder of the week and actually closed down on Friday. And right now, we see that the NASDAQ 100 finally caught up with all the other major market indexes. And look at here, it made new high in 5 consecutive trading sessions. And on Friday, it closed with a new all-time closing high. Now, the S&P 500 did almost exactly the same as the NASDAQ 100, except on Tuesday, it did not make a new all-time high. But the other 4 trading sessions of the week, it did make new all-time high. And on Friday, it closed with a new all-time closing high. And what's concerning about those new highs is this negative divergence between the cumulative AD line, the New York Stock Exchange cumulative AD line, and the S&P 500. So unless the cumulative AD line come up and make a higher high, then we will be very cautious about the S&P 500 further high, and we be very watchful for potential liquidation break to come back down and get back in sync with the cumulative AD line. Here are the other internals that are showing us some concern. Here is the up-down volume ratio. Notice throughout the entire week, every day, every trading session of last week, we saw more down volume than up volume while the S&P 500 is making new high. In addition to that, the daily advance declined only on Wednesday. There were actually a few more advancing stocks than declining stock. Other than that, the other 4 trading sessions show more declining stock than advancing stock. So definitely the market is not moving up with internal strength. And looking at the sentiment, we see the VIX is down here at 12.77. So definitely the market participants are being very complacent. And also looking at the put call ratio down at 0.61, they are getting very bullish and also buying a lot of call. And looking at some of the stocks that have been making huge moves recently, it kind of remind me of the dot-com era. Right now, we're looking at Palantir. See this movement up here, and also Shanghai and Reddick. I mean, these are huge moves in a short period of time, and a lot of these companies, they're either the price to sell is ridiculous or the price earning is ridiculous, and the market cap is ridiculous. Let's take a look at the price action of the ETF, the SPY for the S&P 500. As you can see, last week it came up and tagged this upper range of the weekly expected move. See, on Friday, actually got inside of it and then pulled back and closed right underneath. And notice that the volume here is, the traded volume up at this price level is getting heavy here. So that implies the market participant or the market is accepting these higher prices. So in the coming week, we could see the price continue to move higher, but we might also see a little bit of a pullback and possibly come down and fill this gap before we actually push higher. Now, looking at what the market is pricing in for the coming week, we see the market is pricing in the upper range between 614.50 and 613.40. And the lower range is between 602.30 and 600.50. So again, if it comes down and fill this gap, the market is saying that it could come down and possibly get into this, balance area here. And if it break the lower range, then we could see the possibility of come down to this high volume node at 598.17. And if it could hold this level here at 604.32, then we could see a push higher and up into this 613, 614 level, and with another new all-time high. Looking at the QQQ, you see the QQQ actually finished the week above the weekly upper range here and almost got into the December monthly upper range. So it's getting way too bullish here for the QQQ. So right now, we're basically looking for either a push higher up beyond this monthly expected move, the upper range, or come back down and fill this gap here. So here is what the market is pricing in for the coming week. The market is pricing in a upper range of between 534.70 and 533.60. And the lower range is down here at this gap fill between 519.30 and 517. So definitely the market is looking for a possibility of a gap fill down here on any sort of a pullback. And if it continue to push higher and beyond this upper range for the monthly expected move, then we could see this upper range on a weekly to be in play here for a new all-time high. But I do believe that we could see a little bit of a pullback before we see a little more push up into a new all-time high. But who knows, right? The market will do whatever it wants to do. But I will be watching this lower range and this 516.27 area, into this balance area here, because the price is being accepted up here between this 520 and 526. So there are justification for the price to continue to move higher as the market has accepting these higher prices. And looking at the ES, the E-mini S&P 500 future, you see that it also came up, almost tagged the weekly upper range of last week. And it did put in a new all-time high here on an intraday basis on Friday. So right now, we're basically also looking at the price acceptance up here, up above this 6,088 area. So it seems like the market is probably will push this thing beyond the 6,100 area and possibly come up to this weekly upper range around this 6,188. And here's what the market is pricing in for the coming week. For the upper range, the market is pricing in a range between 6,160 and 6,150. And then for the lower range, it is pricing in between 6043.50 and 6020. So you can see that it is trying to come up to this monthly range here. So we're going to be keeping an eye out to see if it pull back dip below this low volume node here at this 60, 68.50, then we could see it come down to this lower range. And here's some high volume area here. So we can see a little bit of a chop here and see would be able to hold this lower range and then push us back up into a new high to come up to this upper range here. Or if the market just continue to melt up, then we'd be looking at this upper range and possibly get up to this monthly upper range here at this 6188, 6200 area. Let's take a look at some of the swing trade idea that I have on these crypto mining stock. The first one is Riot. Now let me show you what I have on this chart here. This is the 35 period SMA, and this is aggregated on a daily basis, on a daily price, and this is the 8-day EMA, and this is the 30 SMA. So what we are looking at right now is for the price to come back up and get above this 1316 level, and then look for a long and try to come back up to this pivot level here, which is about 1.5 R. Because what I have marked off is this is 1 R, this is 1.5, 2, and 3. So these are the level that I keep an eye on while the trade is ongoing, so I know how much of a R that it have reached. So if we could get this thing back above this 1316 area, then that's basically what we're looking at. And the stop is just underneath this, this low here. Or basically, I have it hypothetically set it at 12.04 right now, and that could change as the trade move along. So right now we're looking at an R that is somewhere around $1.12. So we basically, just size it accordingly using that particular R size here. Now, if the price come down and dip below this 35 moving average, 35 period moving average, then this setup is no longer valid. We're going to be reassessing that. So that's basically what we are looking at right now for Riot on a potential swing long. And the next one is Bit Digital. Again, it's another crypto mining company. You see that it broke out of this 479, came up to this 1R, now it's pulling back. So I'm looking for a bit of a bounce to see when I get another bounce off of this 479. Even though it dipped down here, if it could come back up above this 479, then I'd be looking for a potential long to come back up and basically playing for this high here. So again, that will be more than 2R here because right here is 3R. Now, once again, if it comes down to this 35 period moving average, then I'm no longer looking for a long above this level here. I will be reassessing a potential level once it gets below this 35 moving average. So that's basically what I'm looking at for Bit Digital. And here's another one. This is Hive Digital. Okay, again, basically looking for a break above this 447 and then come up and possibly get back up to this high here. So basically, we're looking to be a little bit over 2R of a move. But if it comes down below this 35, then we'll be reassessed. And this trade setup that we are watching for will no longer be in play. And then finally is the Mara holding. I think it used to call Marathon Holding. So I'm not sure did they truncate the name or not. But anyway, it's MARA. And again, we're basically looking for this move here. You see that it is closed just above this 2638 on Friday. So we'll be looking to see could we get a long going. And again, we're gonna play to this high here, and that would be a little bit over 2R. So and if it come down to below this 35 period moving average, then we no longer be watching this setup to be looking for a long. And again, I basically have set up some hypothetical trade parameter here, the R size on each one of these. So you might want to go back to the video, rewind the video, and then pause on that and take a look at it because I did not elaborate too much on or at all on these level other than on Riot. So you could kind of get some idea where this what is the R size is. Now let's take a look at Google. Google, I'm looking for this 174.54. You see that it closed just slightly above that on Friday. So anywhere above this 174.54, be looking for a long type of a move and possibly at least get back up to this pivot. So that's be a little bit over 1R, but not 1.5R. Ideally, we would like to see this gap come up to this gap fill, and that would be at least 2R if it's not come up here, and possibly even basically looking for Google to hit a new all-time high, because all the other FANG stocks is pretty much hitting all-time high except for Google, right? So basically looking at that, and once again, if it come down to this 35 period moving average, then this setup or this trade idea is no longer valid. And here on Nvidia, it's a very tight risk here. We're talking about, for Nvidia, it's, less than $1 on this all side. So I'm not sure you have the stomach to go and take a trade on this, but I like this, basically I just size it, maybe start off with a small position. If we get shake out, then, to and try again. Because right now it's sitting right at this 35-day moving, 35 period moving average here. So if we could come up to this 142.48, that could be a pretty good gain if it come back up to this pivot high. And even it come up here, you can see that is more than 3R because this is the 3R level. So definitely there are some potential huge on and off for Nvidia on this play. But again, we're talking about the R size is quite small, right? The R size is basically 80 cents. Okay, so you got to keep an eye on that and be careful. You might want to expand this. Maybe you could move the stop down below this pivot, so kind of expand the range for that all size. All right, so those are some of the ideas that I have, and let me know what you think. And if you decide to take any of these ideas and put them to work, let me know what your outcome. Be very interested to find out. Now, be sure to go and check that Substack newsletter on the text version of the market analysis, and I do have the link in the description below. And be sure to give it a thumbs up to help me promote this video on YouTube. And if you are new to this channel, subscribe to this YouTube channel to help support it, and also subscribe to my newsletter at Substack so you will be able to get additional contents that I post throughout the week. Good luck on your trading, and thank you for watching.